Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys Board Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And joining us here in studio in Zach's seat is a friend of the show, Andrew.
It's a very comfortable seat. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
As you can tell
You're welcome.
by Zach not sounding as good as Andrew.
Well, does he ever?
No.
Well, I mean, have you listened to his little, pre-episode?
That's very sensual.
When I want to sound good, I can sound good.
You just don't care about us.
Yeah, I don't care.
Just don't care during the actual recording.
No.
Yeah, but he definitely puts on that smooth jazz.
Yeah.
It's like, your ears are about to be assaulted by some bad audio quality, so let me just butter them up real smooth.
Sounds about right.
Like a mix between a late night jazz DJ and NPR.
Thoughts for your thoughts?
Yeah.
Great. Now I'm going to have to rewatch all of Parks and Rec again.
You're welcome. I do what I can. It was a favor just for you.
Oh, dear. So, Zach, why aren't you with us?
Because I'm in Oregon.
Why are you in Oregon?
To visit my mom.
Look at you.
Aww.
So you
faithful son.
So you don't have to over Christmas.
Or Thanksgiving.
I mean, if you can travel home between the holidays, it kind of still counts, and it's cheaper.
It was $150 round trip with extended seats.
Nice.
It's the shit out of Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get to be in Oregon.
Exactly.
Yeah. You went to the ocean or something?
The coast?
I did.
Yeah.
It was 25 degrees warmer by the ocean than it was in Portland.
Gotcha.
I thought you were about to say it was 25 degrees.
Yeah.
No. It was 62 at the ocean.
Nice.
Very nice. That's
Yeah.
about what it was here today.
Yeah.
In the middle of December. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't leave the house at all today. So
That's
I worked.
problem.
I worked outside today. It was great.
It still hasn't snowed in Denver, right?
No.
Since I left.
Not
No.
since October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
We're-
a quarter inch in October, and that's it.
Yeah, we're rapidly approaching a new record for most consecutive days without measurable snowfall in Denver. Meanwhile, New York's getting
the
fucking
winter.
buried in the winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's-
Atlanta got buried too, so to speak. It got like 7 or 10 inches.
Wow.
In Georgia.
That's a lot for
Mexico
That's
Mexico got
ridiculous.
fucking snow.
Yeah, I know. I'm real fucking unhappy about this right now.
Well,
know,
but
right?
at least we're not on fire.
It's
There
true.
are worse.
Yes, it could be worse.
We could be on fire.
So the opposite of being covered in
Yes.
snow is covered in fire. You know what? You're right.
Sounds right to me.
That checks out.
Yeah.
That math checks out.
Yes, it does. And I'm an accountant. I should know
Yeah.
about fire.
The Punchboard Media Slack, a bunch of people have been sharing their pictures of the snow, like Board Game Gumbo down in Louisiana, or like Jake had a picture that he'd shared of snow over in the Carolinas, and just
Pissing you off.
it's just really pouring some salt into that open wound of not getting to snowboard
On good snow.
on good snow. True. But
I'm gonna try and go out this weekend.
Yeah.
More
I'm-
snowboarding.
This is what, your
I'm busy.
third time?
This will be the second weekend.
Okay.
I'll try not and fuck up my knee as bad this time.
yeah, apparently we need to get you knee pads.
Yeah. Knee pads. I asked. That's on my Christmas list.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, next weekend is still before Christmas.
That's
I don't know
true.
if you know that.
But after Christmas is also more snowboarding.
Yeah. Hopefully after Christmas when the snowboarding will get real good too.
Yeah. I'm on a timer with Ant of how long he can actually teach me before the snow gets good, and then he's like, "Fuck off! I'm gonna go snowboard. Learn by yourself."
You'll have Paul to
Sounds
help.
about right.
Paul to help fall along beside me.
Exactly. He's slightly more advanced than you. so he
Slightly
can
more advanced.
Slightly help you.
More likely he'll just laugh at you when you fall.
I mean, yeah. Duh.
That's what Paul does.
That's bullshit, Paul.
It's also a great way to
Yes.
get people to not fall. Just mock them relentlessly when they do.
Yeah. Good times.
So I had a nice little reprieve from the sorrows of being a Broncos fan this weekend. Megan had a Canadian friend of hers in town that they met in Ecuador 4 years ago and stayed really good friends and traveled a bunch. Well, she came into town with her boyfriend, and his company had bought a block of Broncos tickets for their employees, and 2 of them ended up missing their flight and couldn't go. So they're like, hey, we got these 2 extra tickets. Do you want to go? And I was like, do I really want to go watch the Broncos lose to the Jets?
But what kind of fan would you be if you turned down free tickets?
Exactly. I might not go out of my way to watch them on TV when they're doing this bad, but I'm not going to pass up a chance to actually go to a game. So we went, and shockingly, the Broncos had an upset. They beat the Jets.
Pretty handily.
It was a shutout, right?
It was a shutout, 23-0, and it was only the second time, I think, in NFL history that a team has shut out the opposing team while holding them to fewer than 100 total yards. Going into the start of the second quarter, the Jets had negative passing and rushing yards.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Jesus Christ.
The defense played real well in that first quarter.
Nice.
So,
How did the offense do?
they scored some points.
Okay.
There was a blocked field goal, which sucked. There were a couple times when the defense got the ball with really good field position, and then the offense just didn't do anything with it. They're still not very good. But hey, they won a game. They stopped the losing streak. We didn't set a new record for longest Broncos losing streak. I'm happy about that. Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
Yeah. So that was a nice way to spend my Sunday.
Yeah.
Also this weekend in sports news, Toronto FC won the MLS Cup. So, that's awesome.
That's something.
Yeah.
That's
Josie Altidore and Michael Bradley representing for the U.S. team on Toronto FC.
I don't follow soccer at all. So,
Uh-huh.
but maybe some of our fans do, and maybe they also care
I've heard-
about Toronto.
I've heard of the MLS before.
I have heard of the MLS. Denver has an MLS team.
Yeah.
Yes, we do the Rapids.
Rapids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the since we're talking about sports, for your Australian listener Matt, when he does finally catch up, I'm a little pissed at the Australians right now for how badly they're beating the English in the Ashes in cricket right now. They've won the first 2 games and are probably going to win the next 3, and it's not good.
You would follow cricket.
Yes,
Andrew.
I would.
Who usually does the Ashes usually have one winner, or does it kind of go back
The
and forth all the time?
Ashes is every 2 years a 5-game match between England and Australia.
Yes.
So it's only ever one of those 2 teams, and like 75% of the time it's been Australia.
Okay. But yeah, the majority winner, I think, has been
The name
Australia.
comes from the first time England team, like in the 1890s or something like that, went down to Australia to play cricket, teach these colonists how to play the game, and got their asses handed to them. And the journalists back home were like, "This is the death of cricket! Oh my god!" And they
Nice.
symbolically burned the wicket and a ball, and they have this tiny little 3-inch tall urn that is what they play for. That's the trophy that the captains hold up at the end of it. This 3-inch tall little brown urn.
So about the size of a cell phone.
Less.
Smaller.
Very, very fitting cricket to have
A tiny Ashes trophy.
for a tiny sport that
Nice.
nobody cares about.
The ashes of cricket. They're still playing over the death of it.
No one in
over
North
100 years later.
No one in North America cares about.
The first ever international game of cricket was between Canada and the U.S. So,
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
All
Close
right,
by.
I'll stop talking about
this
cricket
is
now.
boring.
Yeah, wow.
Subscribe to Cricket Facts.
So, how about board games? Has anybody gotten to play any board games during this week of travel and sports? Jeff, have you played anything besides Blood Bowl?
I played Pandemic Legacy Season 2.
Yeah, we did.
Finally, after a month after our first game.
Right.
How'd that go?
We're in January. This will be spoiler free, by the way. We're in January. We played the prologue and the first game of January. Lost the first game of January.
And the prologue, just to be
No,
clear.
we won the prologue. Yes, we did.
Okay.
We totally won that.
You say so. I could have sworn we lost it.
Now
but-
we won.
All right.
Dissension amongst the ranks.
Yeah.
Then we lost the first half of January on the last, just
Last
right
possible,
the limit, just like as Pandemic is. And then a month later, we played the second half of January, and then it got fucking crushed again.
Not even close.
Not even close. Did no objectives. It was rough.
Yeah.
And then we did the first game of February, and just a whimsical, carefree win. Just really
Jaunt through the world.
yep.
Not a single cube came out.
Yep. No
disease cube.
The outbreak tracker
The
didn't
plague
move.
cubes?
Yeah, the plague cubes didn't move at all.
That's a spoiler. There's plague cubes. Jesus.
That's
No,
in the
everyone knows
prologue.
that.
So,
Yeah. Nope. Not a single plague cube got put out, and we completed all of our objectives, which was nice.
Yeah.
For once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got actually upgrades and stuff. There are some spoilery things that happened that I can just talk to you people in private about that really sucked.
yes.
But
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah.
did.
Pandemic Legacy Season 2 is back on track.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Good to hear.
And then we tried to schedule a game, and then it's like, we'll see you after
month.
Christmas.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be able to get a game in this Sunday. Will be the last time we get to play before
Where are you guys
the
at?
end of
For
Christmas.
2018.
Yeah, we are. We're in May, I believe.
Okay.
right, Zach?
Wow.
And so hopefully we'll wrap up May, maybe even get into June. And
To be
then
fair, we're
at some
only-
point we're gonna have to wait for you guys to catch up so we can do our 6-month spoiler
Yeah.
episode.
I mean, we're in March, so it's not that
Right.
far out. Yeah. So Pandemic Legacy Season 2 happened.
I know.
Jeff, just actually win some fucking games besides just one every 4, it seems, and then you'll be able to move through easier.
Yes,
Just
this
saying.
is not wrong.
That's a plan, at least. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
That's how playing games works.
What about you, Andrew? Have you played anything?
Besides that and Civilization, which we'll talk about in the next episode, I played my first ever actually 2-player game of Hanabi where I wasn't teaching the other person.
Right on.
So, actually,
who was who was the other person?
David, friend of the show.
Okay, I wanted to make sure it wasn't like Ant because then it's like that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, no, I'd like to play with Ant at some point, but
It's like a different sport.
I gotta work
Yeah.
up to that.
Right.
But we got 22 and a half, I think. So
22 and a half.
yeah,
Half? You just rip some cards up or something?
we forgot to actually play David's last turn, and he had a 2 in 4 chance of having of playing the right card.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
see.
Right on. What about you, Zach? What have you played?
I haven't played anything here, but before I left, I did end up playing Hardback, the prequel of Paperback.
Yes.
That's the official
I-
tagline of the game. So
I
know.
don't
Not the worst board game title pun, but
yeah. So this is another deck builder / word building game.
Okay.
The way the cards come out is the trench style, like Ascension or Legendary Encounters, instead of Dominion style, which the other one was more like.
Right.
But this one was all about. So you have genres now. You have action or adventure. You have romance. You have mystery, and you have horror.
Uh-huh.
And if you play words that have the same symbols, then you're gonna activate extra abilities, like in Star Realms or Hero Realms.
Okay.
And then it's basically you're a race to get 60 prestige points or whatever they call them. But like some of your cards will give you prestige points and others will give you money to buy better cards. And then if you're the first person to make like an 8-letter word, you get, this award that gives you extra points. But if you make bigger words, then the person who had the it basically just comes down to like whoever made the biggest word at the end of the game gets extra points. But it's really just all about that race 60 points. And so you have cards that'll let you get ink. And so what ink does is it lets you push your luck by drawing an additional card. But you basically have to put the ink token on that card, and you're basically saying you have to use that letter. So if you draw it and it's a Z, you're like, fuck. Because then you have to use that one or you pass. There are ways to get removers that lets you just take that card and put it back in your hands. So one thing that this has over Paperback is, Paperback it had wild cards.
mhm.
Uh-huh.
This one has every card can be a wild card. All you do is you turn it around to its back, and then it's a wild. And you basically
don't get points for it.
You don't get points for it. Although there are some cards that let you flip those cards back over to get the points. So those are nice to be able to combo that together. But this one is definitely more combo-y than the previous one, and it definitely plays pretty different. I would say, like it's still based around making words and stuff like that. But it did feel different than Paperback.
Okay.
It was just okay. I'm still not that keen on word games. So,
Okay.
yeah. Paul seemed to really like Hardback. He's not sure which one he'd like more. Paperback seems a bit easier to teach. So this one's like a more gamier version of it.
Okay.
But it was enjoyable enough, I thought. And then there's a bunch of variants that we did not use that looked like player powers and certain rules you had to abide by and stuff like that. That seems pretty interesting. But as the base game, it was okay. And I could definitely see the appeal in it.
Right on.
Yeah.
It looks good too.
Yeah. That art looks great. And the different genres all have like different font and different colors and stuff like that. So it's easy to tell them apart.
That's good.
It looks pretty.
Yeah.
Calligraphy.
It's an interesting world we're getting into, where even word games start having to have like really good graphic design.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started on how much people like get bent out of shape if the art isn't just fantastic.
I will say this: it's always funny now to try to teach somebody a deck building game when they have no concept of deck building, because it's just like a skill, like it's like
where the hell have you
it's just
been?
like it's just like breathing. So you're like you have to go through these whole things. You're like, okay, you just do this, and they're like, I have no idea what that means. And you're like, wait, okay, all right, I get gotta think about it for a second, right? Because like I had a person like buy 5 cards and then just took the or like discarded their hand, but they just put it back into their draw pile that was turned face up, and I was like, what is going on?
Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys considered an episode just on like all of the different word games that have come out?
No.
Since there are, I don't think you've done a special review of any of them in particular because they're all kind of small. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I work for one of our small episode
yeah,
You could
just a thought.
just use Twitter.
Slip that in there.
Tweet us at MHGG.
Oh yeah, if I want to win the Lisboa.
Yeah. Just
It's right here.
Oh, it looks very nice in its shrink wrap.
It's centerpiece on the
on the
game
display.
shelf.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'd have to play Wordsy?
Probably.
Damn it.
Well, that's reason enough, Adrian.
Yes. Right on. Well, I didn't really play much. I played at game night. For the first time in a very long time, we had got a game of Werewolf going.
Nice.
Yes, we did.
I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah, I think there were 20-ish people in on it.
16 or 18. One of the
16
two.
or 18. So just under 20.
And the first game of Werewolf I haven't been on in a long time.
Yeah.
I was busy.
You're busy with Blood Bowl.
We'll hear all about that in the Bloody Minute coming up.
Indeed, we will.
But it was, I was only in it for like 2 rounds. I died the second night. Or no, the third night. The first
You died
night,
the third night?
Yep. The first night, they massacred somebody. I don't remember who. Kevin. Yeah. And then
I massacred Kevin because I was a werewolf in that game, and I had accidentally dropped my card, and I was like, did Kevin see that? I don't know, but I'm going to kill him just in case.
Better safe than sorry.
So Kevin got massacred the first night, and then the second night, nobody died, which I assume means the bodyguard got lucky and protected the right person. And then the third night, I was slaughtered
By Zach again.
Yes.
Yeah, probably largely by Zach.
Yeah. That was the one where you made a point about how the bearded villagers kept dying because they did when they were being hung.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, like 2 people got nominated, and somebody died who it was a werewolf and they didn't have a beard. And then you're like, yeah, see, the beard, the werewolves don't have beards and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, all right, that seems like a great time to kill Adrian. After he said that.
Yeah. So I died. I kind of checked out. I went over and was setting up some stuff for the anniversary party coming up next month and everything. But I came back, and so that game turns out the lovers won.
Nice.
They were a werewolf villager couple, and they managed to last until the very end. It was just the 2 of them that survived.
I love it when that happens.
I've never seen that happen.
Yeah,
it's the second time
it's only happened twice.
I've heard of it,
the
least.
First time that happened with me, I was a lover and I was able to make that happen. This time, I would have been able to act because I was the last person that they killed. Like I was the third, which is super surprising because I was the other werewolf. But I would have been able to force a stalemate had I realized it 5 seconds before I did, because I realized it right when we killed the last. Like we had 4 people left, and the werewolves were killing somebody. And it was Megan and who was the other person? Well, anyway, it was Jenna.
That's right.
Jenna, she pointed towards the guy. I don't remember his name was, and I pointed, and I was like, man, she really chose him quick. And then I was like, oh shit, lovers are back in. Fuck, it's her and Megan. Because if I had just chosen, if I had just pointed towards Megan and just been like, no, this is the only person I want to kill, we wouldn't have come to a consensus, and then the werewolves wouldn't have killed anybody. And then as soon as we woke up, I would have told the guy, all right, I'm going to level with you. I'm a werewolf. These 2 are lovers, and they want to kill both of us. The only way we can survive is if we force a tie on every single vote.
I don't think you might have been able to kill the werewolf of the lovers, in which case it would have been down. Okay, it would have killed both of them, and then it would be just you and the other guy, and you would have won.
Well, no. So Megan was the hunter. She would have killed me.
Oh, okay.
I found that after. But I would have been fine with him winning. I just didn't want the lover to win because the werewolf, betrayed me. But basically, until I would have said, I would nominate Megan or whoever, and then me and him would have voted for her, and the other two people would have voted for me or somebody else, and so nobody would have died from voting.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I just say, I think we should play Werewolf a little bit more often, just because it helps people learn names. Like, there are people that are at this point basically regulars to game night, and I'm at this point a little ashamed to ask their names again for the 8th time.
Yeah. That happens.
But I was a little disappointed at myself because it just sort of I kept coming up with more shit in my head. I was like, I really should have figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a fun game. And everybody thought it was good, which was hilarious.
Thought you were good?
Yeah.
Why on earth?
Nobody.
I don't know why anybody would have ever believed Zach was good.
I know. It was great. Wesley was saying usually he is able to get a good idea of what everybody is, and he was like, this game I had no idea.
We're just out of practice.
And even Bob wasn't like, I knew you were a werewolf. So that was oh shit, I was doing well.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, that wraps up kind of what we've been playing, I think.
Yeah.
Besides the review game, but that'll be for Friday's episode. So real quick before we dive into a bloody minute, just because there's an interesting twist tonight. Let's take a second and talk about what we are drinking. I am just drinking some low-fill Escape to Colorado IPAs.
It was Ding and Dent.
Shocking.
It was
Or
not
Ding and Dent.
Ding and Dent, not low-fill.
Yeah. I am drinking it out of my Brawlin' Brothers highball glass, rocks glass. I don't know. My Brawling Brothers glass that conveniently holds 12 ounces of liquid. Jeff, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a Son of Baptist with roastery coffee. We're doing a new 12 new coffees all across the country. And the roastery one is probably the greatest coffee Baptist we've ever done.
Like the 12 coffees at Christmas?
Nah, it's just sort of different markets. They're all getting their own coffee. So
that one is really tasty.
Yeah, the roastery.
I remember drinking one at the Watch the Skies.
Yeah, I was I had brought some specially for people to try because it was fantastic.
You were like, don't give these away. These are for us. These are the good ones.
These are for China #1 popular.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, out of an epic pint glass, no less, that Adrian just happens to have.
Yeah. I've got a decent amount of random glassware from breweries we go to. But for the interesting twist here, Andrew, what are you drinking?
I am drinking the House Red Wine.
Yeah.
It is literally the brand is House Wine.
It's a 3-liter box of wine.
Yeah, but it's a pretty decent Malbec, especially for that price level. I will have to say I'm a little bit disappointed in you and not having whiskey for me, but the wine is pretty good. So
yeah, Zach also months back drank all his rum. Otherwise, I could have offered you some really nice rum.
I might have had that. Yeah, damn you, Zach.
Yeah, well, what can I say? It was good.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Zach, are you drinking anything over there in Oregon?
Yes, I am. I am drinking a combination of green apple sparkling water.
Okay.
And Pipeline from Kona Brewing Company. It's a porter made with Hawaiian Kona coffee. And it's pretty good.
Are you drinking them side by side?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't mix them in the same glass.
No, God, no.
Okay. just double checking.
That was the interpretation I had, and I was, cocking an eyebrow at that.
If you could see what I'm seeing, you would clearly see 2 distinct bottles on 2 different TV trays, so I don't accidentally grab one expecting the other.
Now that's just smart planning right there.
Yes.
Is it common now for everyone that's off-site recording to be recording from a bed? Because I believe that's what's happening right now.
You are 100% correct.
Adrian, last time you recorded,
No, I wasn't in a bed last time.
I'm pretty sure you were laying in a bed.
No, definitely not.
No? Okay.
No, the last time I recorded remotely was when I was in St. Louis. I had a Gen Con, and I definitely recorded from my mom's work office where I could actually shut the door and keep the fucking dogs out.
Gotcha.
That's why I'm in this bedroom.
Same reason.
I'm just picturing Zach lying in the bed in a silk robe with with a pipe and just waiting for the smooth voice to come out.
Crackling fire over the hearth.
Yeah.
Bearskin rug.
Kenny G playing in the background.
Yeah.
You would be disappointed.
Speaking of disappointment.
Yes. How about we transition into this bloody minute here?
Oh, bloody minute time. I do have 2 games to talk about. One IRL in real life and one on Blood Bowl 2.
So bloody 2 minutes.
Bloody 2 minutes. First game, I'm going to talk about our Kill Season 5 League. The War Bosses versus the Onions. Bullshit Paul versus myself. The number 1 and number 2 teams in this league. Orc on Orc. Both have been doing very well this season. Paul has been doing generally better than I have skill-wise. He's got more skills and all that fun stuff than I do, but I've been, lucking out in my wins. So first things first, we rolled a gate, which is how many fans are attending the game, which gets you fame, which gets you extra bonuses during the game. I rolled a 10 plus my fame of 8, getting an 18, and I was like, he has to roll an 11 or 12 to beat me. I was like, I have fame. There's no way he's going to do it. He rolls a 12. Gets a 20 on his. Sure. So then we come to the league high of most fans ever attending a game of 38,000 fans. So this
it seems like a good game.
Yeah. The highest attendance ever. My first throw of the game was my troll. It's a bad move. Made a bad move immediately. Rolled double skulls.
Why'd you do that?
Because he's a big guy, and I had 2 die, and I was like, I can throw him first. I can move my guard up a little bit closer, and then he'll just kind of be more in the middle for my other guys to hit. My other guys would have gotten 2 dice too, but it's not the point. The point is, I can't re-roll a troll without rolling a 4+, which I did not do, which immediately ended my first turn after rolling a double skulls as my first throw of the game.
Beautiful.
This is not the first time that the troll has done this. And my first time I ever threw a block with that troll, he also rolled double skulls. Thankfully, the game actually went pretty decently after that. I ended up causing some casualties to Paul's team, with Orcs on Orcs. It's usually you clunk against each other until someone takes some casualties, and then you start rolling over the other player. Paul's had some bad luck with his trolls. He's on his 3rd troll. The first 2 the first 2 have died. Also, on my 3rd turn, I made the 3rd troll also die. So leak 3, I bashed his head off, and he did not regenerate. Coming soon to a Paul team near you, leak 4, because his troll was out for the rest of the game. Downside is I wasn't able to score in that first half. Some unlucky ball bounces and drops and other general bullshit kind of made it so I could not get a score in there. We moved on to the second half. It was 9 on 11. He had tried to foul and got one of his guys banned. So he was a man disadvantage. Kicked the ball to him, and then it all went downhill for me. I could not do... All my blocks weren't working. I couldn't get 2 moves in a row with dice rolls without having to use a reroll. When it was just skulls and knocking myself down, and I had a couple good plays of getting the ball down the field, but then Paul would come back with a string of 7 dice in a row, needing 4+ and make all of them. He was doing well, luck-wise. Ended up getting a touchdown in the second half, but I was still up men. It was 0-1. I still had 3 or 4 turns to get a score. Had the ball, was able to get the ball to my thrower, who threw it to my blitzer and got him down the field. Downside is he got a nice 2-die block on that blitzer, knocking him down, and there the ball sat for the rest of the half with me not being able to pick it up or double sculling and not being able to do anything about it. So Paul ended up winning 1-0, giving me my first loss since the playoffs of season 4. Yeah. Broke my undefeated streak. He has moved up into first place. I am only 2 points behind and almost a lock for the playoffs, unless something disastrous happens. Just like the NFL. Unless something disastrous happens, I will make it to the playoffs.
We were mathematically eliminated from the playoffs this weekend, even with our victory.
I believe that's disastrous.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
But I did do some damage to... Paul did kill a lineman and a blitzer. Upside is the lineman had no skills, and the blitzer had just died the previous game and also had no skills. So I just let them die to let me be able to spend some of my huge treasury. I did kill Paul's troll, and I did armor break Paul's number 1 Black Orc blocker. So he will only have armor 8 for his future games. So I did some damage, but I did end up losing the game.
Womp
womp. My next game of the season is versus Magic Missiles, another orc team. It is the last place team in the league, so I am expecting good things to come out of this next game for me.
What percentage of the league are orcs?
There are 3 teams in the top league.
Okay, so you just happen to be playing the other 2 orc teams back to back. It's just
back to back, yeah.
Okay.
There are 5 other teams in the top division that are not orcs.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are 3 orc teams in the top division.
So 3 out of 8. That's
yeah.
38%. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Orcs are a good team.
Yeah.
My second game, Blood Bowl 2, it's our online league that we've been starting. These games go much faster, and I sort of care about them a lot less because I don't love. Ant and I have had a theory of not relativity, but dice rolls in Blood Bowl 2 that they're a little skew. We've gone through, Ant has gone through the matches that he's been through and other people in the league. There are way too many deaths happening. It is happening way too much to be statistically probable, but
statistically improbable things do happen.
They do, but as Ant has played in many, many leagues, like the amount of deaths is pretty staggering that's been happening in Blood Bowl 2. My game was Lizardmen versus Lizardmen. This is the second game I've ever played with a base Lizardmen team. It was
It was an election. Ooh, conspiracies. Sorry.
The game was going all right. I ended up scoring with a handoff in a tackle zone with one of my skinks. I had ended up killing one of his Saurus, and then on immediately the next block, rolling a double skull and miss next gaming one of my own Saurus. I then continued to roll double skulls, 7 more times that game, which is fucking ridiculous. Knocking myself down, knocking myself out. Finally, I did a go for it, which requires a 2+ to move 1 extra beyond their regular movement. I rolled a 1. I re-rolled. I rolled a 1. That means I fall down. I have to make an armor roll. It broke my armor. I have to make a casualty roll. It casualtied me, and I had to make a injury roll, which killed me. So my own Saurus tripped and killed himself. Classy. Yeah. I ended up losing that game 2-1. I have a dead Saurus, a miss next game Saurus, a miss next game skink, and I'm going to have a lot of journeymen in my next game against Frank.
Good luck in that next game.
What's nice is these games are only like 30 to 45 minets. Not
and
the
you
like
don't care about them.
And when shit like that starts happening, it's like whatever. A 2.5 hour board game investment is definitely different than a 30 to 45 minute PC game investment. So we'll see what happens in that next game. But two rough losses this week in Blood Bowl. It was going to come sooner or later. My dice have been real bad lately.
You should fire them.
I need that demon box.
Yeah,
that's what I need.
Yeah, they're possessed. Clearly, somebody cast a hex on them,
or something. I need some sort of like totem to Nuffle to just place on the table to really help my dice out.
You should make one.
I need to pray to Nuffle. That's what I need to do.
How do you spell Nuffle? Is it with a K?
Nuffle.
Okay. Yeah. Oh right. Okay. There's not a K at the beginning now.
There's not a K.
Never mind.
It's not like Knuckle.
No. So yeah, that's the Blood Bowl updates. Rough week in the world of Blood Bowl.
Hope it turns around for you soon, Jeff. It's been nice having you be winning at Blood Bowl.
It was a lot of losing at Blood Bowl for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, Adrian, what if the reason he was winning was because the Broncos were losing, and now it's been switched? He lost, so the Broncos win.
Jeff, you better get your ass back to winning. I want a top 5 draft pick for the misery I had to endure this year.
My next game's, I'm not going to say it's a lock, but I'm going to say
it's a lock.
Stone cold lock of the week.
Let's just say the key has been inserted. It just hasn't been turned yet.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, Zach. Can you say that again in your sexy voice?
Let's just say that the key.
Oh, God.
We couldn't get through. But now the Bloody Minute's over. You know what that means?
It is time for
What is it time for, guys?
news and Kickstarters.
News and Kickstarters. Hooray! First up in news is a lot of letters. FFG, LOTR, LCG to PC. Also known as Fantasy Flight is bringing the Lord of the Rings living card game to digital.
Yeah, if you remember that they made they started Fantasy Flight Interactive to get a lot of their stuff into Steam.
Correct.
This is their first thing.
And we had talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Exactly.
Yeah. So basically, it's going to be exactly what it sounds like, an LCG brought into
the digital space.
Digital form. So it'll be like Hearthstone, only instead of random packs, you'll have set known packs.
It's true. I wonder if it's just going to be a 1-to-1 port of the Lord of the Rings card game.
What do you
mean?
They haven't quite said that it is or is not that yet, though.
None of you played that, right?
I'm confused. What do you mean by that?
Their Lord of the Rings LCG, which was
No, I understand that, but you said a 1-to-1. What do you mean by
literally just
1-to-1?
Taking the game that is the tabletop version and just putting it into a digital format.
It will not be. It says Lord of the Rings LCG won't simply be a rehash of the tabletop version from their actual article that I'm reading here.
But that's what I want.
Nope.
I was excited
should have
for
a robust single player, which will be kind of nice because most of my app playing that I do single player. So,
I mean, it'll be nice for a game like this to come out, but I didn't really ever play the tabletop LCG of Lord of the Rings as much as I like Lord of the Rings.
Well, it was cooperative, so
yeah.
I mean, I think the single, a lot of people, I think ended up just playing it single player.
Yeah.
So,
really,
okay.
Cooperative LCG. I didn't think
that's the Arkham Horror.
That's what Arkham Horror is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It talks about also that instead of in the tabletop version, the Sauron is played by a deck of cards. Sauron, whatever.
One's right and one's an X-Men character.
That was a very self-satisfied sip of beer you took after you dropped that one-liner, Jeff.
It's really all I can drop is nerd one-liners, so I gotta get him where I got him.
The part of the Dark Lord will be played by an artificial intelligence instead of a random deck of cards. So they're gonna have an actual AI for the bad guy.
That's cool.
They say it's been streamlined, and now a lot of the bookkeeping is going to be in the background. And one of the 4 base statistics has been folded into a new type of card and is just now attachments. So there's no more armor statistic. Now there's just attachment cards. But it's supposed to still be very similar experience from what this article was saying. So, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. There's not really any digital LCGs. Like Star Realms is but it's a deck builder. It's not really a LCG. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I like Lord of the Rings.
Hopefully we'll have more information on that as it comes.
In the weeks to come.
Yep.
Next up on news is a small game announcement, a new Rick and Morty game, because it's a new week, and that has to mean the new Rick and Morty game. This one is The Ricks Must Be Crazy multiverse game. It's based off the episode where there's the teenyverse in the miniverse in the microverse.
In the Rickverse.
Yes.
It's an engine building game, and the really interesting thing, and I actually want to try this because this sounds kind of cool, like an interesting mechanic they're putting into this game. So the basic premise from this episode is that Rick makes a entire universe that he shrinks down and puts into his car battery, and he goes and he cultivates life and civilization and gives them this ability to make electricity where it siphons off 80% of what they produce and sends it to be his car battery. Well, then in that world, a scientist develops essentially the same thing, like some little box that has his own little smaller universe that powers their universe. So in this game, you're engine building across all 3 universes, and the deeper you go, the more primitive it gets, but also because of time dilation, the more actions you can do. And you get first dibs on the energy that's produced, because the energy that's produced goes from the innermost verse all the way to the outer verses. So if you have stuff built in that furthest out verse, but enough things use up all the energy in the inner verses, your shit in that outside world doesn't get powered, which sounds kind of cool. Like,
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Is it just me, or is this Rick and Morty's version of Inception?
it was.
Indeed.
Okay, all
Very
right.
much so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Layers
that was
and-
intentional.
It was one of their 2 Inception episodes.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh,
Remember,
Like
Peace
episode.
Among Worlds.
yeah.
Peace Among Worlds.
Yes. I think
I'm
episode
flipping you guys off now if you didn't notice that.
via the internet. Yes.
Yeah.
Because episode 2 was their true Inception one, where they
Yes.
Yes.
go inside Mr. Goldenfold's mind to make him give Morty good grades.
In math.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can run, but you can't hide, bitch.
What if we try hiding? At worst, we are just back to running.
That was great. And I'm gonna give Morty A's, and that's my idea.
But it's slated to come out sometime next year, probably, first quarter, I would suspect.
Yeah, I think I saw April somewhere, but I can't
Yeah.
find that now. So
So yeah, that one. I mean, 2 to 4 players.
and 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, all these game ideas of Rick and Morty's have always sounded good, but then it's kind of like you play it, and then it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully, this is the one that breaks through.
Well, we
That's
haven't
what I'm
we haven't
hoping.
tried the deck builder one yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah, Council of
But-
Ricks.
Yeah. It's off the Cerberus engine though, so I mean, I've probably played it already to like 90% of it.
yeah. Just a different theme.
Next up on news, there's a new Mansions of Madness expansion coming.
Yay, more things to buy.
Hooray! More. It's a big box.
No, it's slightly smaller box.
Small, the deluxe pack or whatever they called it in Netrunner.
Yeah. Well, it's like the last one, the Streets of Arkham, was like $50. This one I think is just 30 or
Okay.
25.
What's this one added?
This one, they have a quote here from H.P. Lovecraft and his story or book or writing called Cool Air. It says, "It is a mistake to fancy that horror is associated inextricably with darkness, silence, and solitude." And then it goes on to say that Arkham is under threat once more, but this time evil is not emerging from beyond the veil. It comes from within the city of itself. So it's based around a group called the Order of the Silver Twilight. That's like an esteemed society in Arkham that is apparently getting up to some shady things behind closed doors.
You don't say.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
Right?
In Arkham?
20 to 1.
So this expansion, at its base level, it's going to add some new investigators, a bunch of new tiles, looks like some new tokens. Looking at it,
Yeah.
I don't recognize a few of those.
They're called restraints.
Okay.
It looks like it's a new type of token. I want to go ahead and say that these are my 2 favorite investigators from Eldritch Horror. Lily Chen, who's the martial artist, and Charlie Kane, the politician who lets you buy all the shit and just give it to everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm happy that these finally showed it. I'm always glad to see when these same characters appear over multiple games. So, and then
Anybody
it
know
looks
if
that it
these
adds 2 new adventures as well.
Anybody know if these are characters from the actual original H.P. Lovecraft?
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no
Okay.
idea.
Have any of us actually read the original H.P. Lovecraft in any way, shape, or form?
I have
Honestly,
not.
Jeff, I would have guessed you among the 3 of you.
I mean, he was really racist, so I don't know.
yeah. Would he have included an Asian character?
An Asian martial artist, an Asian woman martial artist. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay, probably not.
That's why it's
Let's be racist against racists. He
Yeah, there we
probably
go.
wouldn't have done
yeah.
Yeah. When you're attacking unarmed, if a monster would suffer 1 or more damage, it suffers 2 additional damage. That's pretty badass.
Super.
She's
badass.
punching people there. I would just love her to come up against the fucking Shoggoth and just punch it right in the face. That's
Just like Dracula.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. I'm always one for more Mansions of Madness expansions to come out that I'm not going to play anytime soon.
Right?
I want to play. I want to play more.
Of course, Downside is it's sort of like a
It's an
scheduled event,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
day, but we're too busy playing
Pandemic Legacy.
And review copies
And
and
Gloomhaven and
yeah, everything.
snowboarding
Yeah.
and oh god,
Working.
working.
Why can't we all just be independently wealthy and not need to work? That would free up so much board gaming time.
So much more gaming time.
I mean, who says we aren't? All of us say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're very emphatically,
yeah,
I'm not
yes.
independently wealthy.
Uh-huh.
I am dependently poor.
Basically wage slavery at this point.
Yep.
Next up on news, Hate, the next game coming from CMoN.
You hate it?
Is a game coming from CMoN
Called Hate.
Called Hate. There's some miniature previews, but also some Kickstarter exclusiveness things that are happening with it. Hard to describe without actually having a discussion. So, Adrian, you begin.
Yeah, so I do hate just because this is like the final culmination of Cool Mini like increasingly locking more and more shit on their Kickstarters behind the wall of Kickstarter exclusivity. Hate is going to be 100% Kickstarter exclusive. So
Like no retail. You get it on Kickstarter. They're not going to release it to retail stores unless those retail stores themselves do the retailer pledge.
Yep. So yeah,
You were saying earlier that you thought it was going to be more of a niche thing. It's more mature.
Yeah. Apparently, like it's based on some graphic novel, but apparently, like it's going to be super mature. That they don't. I'm assuming that they don't think that they could realistically get in a lot of board game stores or something like that. I guess, and so they decided to just launch it through Kickstarter, and then if some retailers want to pledge to get it, they can opt into it. But then it's to make it easier on there. And I guess, and also, I know a lot of people, including Adrian, complain about these sort of hobbled versions that you get from retail that aren't Kickstarter exclusive. So now they're just like, well, you don't have to worry about it anymore.
yeah. If you get a copy, you get the full copy. Which in that regard, it's nice. But I'd rather them just I don't see it. Although I don't know, like, because I could almost like get behind Kickstarter being a exclusive thing for like just exclusive print runs, like limited exclusive print runs. Which to me is better than doing it as a pre-order service for your retail game, especially when your retail game then is a hobbled, shitty version of the game.
Yeah,
so,
I figured you'd actually be sort of on board because then you're like, then you definitely don't have to worry about the game then.
Oh yeah, well, I definitely which I was never going to be a concern for me.
No, but because I was going to say, I know you're a big fan of Druids, and Druids was just through Kickstarter, and that's it. And I know it's a completely different scale. But
yeah, Druids was a great example of like a game that could only come through Kickstarter. Like, the publisher didn't have the means to produce this game without Kickstarter, so it was legitimately people helping get a game made. Whereas CMoN has become this huge monster in the board gaming industry, to where they don't need Kickstarter to do anything they want.
And I like they have released a lot of games not through Kickstarter. It's just these big mini games.
Yeah.
So
And this one comes from Guillotine, the Zombicide people.
Exactly. And so I think like these come through Kickstarters also helps them release a lot of those other games that they like Grizzled and Potion Explosion. Oh God, what was that one? Unfair. Like all of those were CMoN. Well, Strike Unfair, because that one was Kickstarter and that was just distributed through them. They did some other ones recently though. The Il Magnifico or whatever it was. So like they have a lot of games that aren't Kickstarter exclusives or anything like that. And it's just they have a couple high profile ones that use it. And so I think it's a good idea for them to just go whole hog in this and be like, look, it's only Kickstarter. This is the only time you can get it. So you don't have to worry about people like, complaining about, oh, I have this game, but I don't feel like I'm getting half the content because I didn't get the Kickstarter. It's 100% or zero.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's things like I can appreciate them doing it as a Kickstarter exclusive only, but part of it is largely the fact that it's CMoN still just rubs me the wrong way.
You just don't like big companies.
Very much. As for the game itself, there's not a lot of information about how it actually plays out. It takes place kind of in a futuristic post-apocalyptic world where the world was destroyed through the actions of man, the seas boiled, forests died, and the earth began to rot, they say. Few survived, and those that did, life had changed forever. Mighty rose up, subjugated the weak. Typical post-apocalyptic storyline. In Hate, each player controls their own tribe, and tribes are made up of a bunch of different people like warriors, shamans, and princes. And as the game goes on, their skills go on. So it sounds kind of like it's an evolving campaign type game Conflict can't be avoided. Tribes clash in the glory of battle again and again. While a full campaign or chronicle can involve multiple different tribes, each clash will be a one-on-one bloodbath. The results of each clash will carry forward and impact future encounters. Only after every clash has been played will an ultimate winner be declared for that chronicle. So I can't tell, like, part of that sounds like it's a campaign of just battles. Like, you just get together and you one-on-one battle your tribe versus their tribe, and whatever tribe wins advances, and whatever one doesn't.
Huh. I didn't realize that the Chronicles of Hate graphic novel was actually made by Adrian Smith, the guy who's now their artist.
Yes.
Like, that's his graphic novel. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
Adrian Smith's art, basically.
Well, no, I know it's his art. I just didn't realize that the graphic series the graphic novel they based it on was his.
Gotcha. Yes, Adrian Smith's Chronicles of Hate. Yeah, it's a real brutal. It's basically, I don't know, imagine Warhammer Fantasy Khorne Berserkers, but it's the whole world.
Yeah.
A lot of skulls.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it looks like it comes out on Kickstarter January 16th. So I know we'll be talking about it then.
Yeah, so we got about a month of fury and hatred before that Kickstarter launches.
Indeed.
Yep.
Last up on news, which isn't so board game related, but does affect a lot of board game media. Patreon is busy, I don't know, fucking imploding.
Yeah, just really trying to drive their entire business into the fucking ground.
That's what happens when you get a bunch of venture capitalists that want, and you're evaluated a lot more than you should actually be worth.
Yep. So essentially, they announced. Initially, they announced it to creators first, and then like 2 days later, officially announced it to backers. But pretty much every creator out there, when they saw the update, immediately went to their backers and were like, "Hey, this is coming, and we're sorry, we didn't want this. This is bullshit." So in the past, the way Patreon worked is if you decided to support the show, you chipped in $1, $2, $5, whatever, based on what our pledge levels are, how much you wanted to give, and at the start of every month, Kickstarter or Patreon took your pledges for everybody you supported. If you supported one creator or 5, they took all of those pledges, lumped them into one sum, took them out of your account, and then put them into our account, minus they take their like little cut. I don't remember what it was. It was something around 5%.
Sounds about right, yeah.
And then
5 to 11, somewhere.
Yeah, and then that goes into our Patreon account, which we can then withdraw to PayPal or to a card or a bank account or whatever, with varying further degrees of processing fees. So all told, we would get a roughly, I think we were getting about 9% of our total pledges were going to fees. Enter this new twist of theirs. They've disguised this as trying to help creators and get more money into creators' pockets.
It's like you now get 95% of your pledges.
Yep. So instead of getting 89 to 91 roughly, depending on the month, now you will always get 95% of your pledges, because instead of charging you $1 for your $1 pledge, they are going to charge you $1 plus 3% plus 32 cents, which fucking sucks. And they do it for every single pledge you have. So if you have 5 $1 pledges, they're going to add 38 cents to each of those. So they're raising, like, some of the lowest pledging people are getting charged like over 30% more for their pledges right out the gate.
If it was like a $25 one, it's not nearly as noticeable, because it's like you said, it's only a little bit change, and then like 2% or what, or some amount.
Yeah.
But the $1 pledges, which a lot of people feel are like the backbones of a lot of these, because
the vast majority of our backers are $1 backers. Like,
exactly,
there's no way around it.
I mean, not that we don't hate them for only $1, but I don't hate them enough to charge them an extra 33 cents that we don't see.
Yeah, right.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's not just board game people that are affected by this. I mean, there is a substantial amount of that. Like, Edward just went full time on the basis of his Patreon pledge drive that Heavy Cardboard did, where they raised a ton of money through Patreon. And then Patreon comes along and is like, oh yeah, now we're going to start charging all of your patrons that you just accumulated. We're going to charge them extra. And guess you better hope they don't back out. you know,
Well, and there was a whole bunch of a series of tweets that were like, "Well, thanks, Patreon. I lost 20 plus backers because of you, and I know that we lost some as well."
Yeah, we've lost a couple,
which we understand.
Yep, and we don't hold it against anybody. We're actively looking into another option besides Patreon at this point.
I think a lot of people are.
Yep. There is Pod Pledge, which was started by Chaz from Dukes of Dice. That seems to be doing what Patreon used to do, and looks very promising. And then there is also going to be, at some point in the future, it will go public. There is Kickstarter Drip, which can go through your Kickstarter account, which, considering how big Kickstarter is in board games, I feel like that would be a very natural switch to make if Kickstarter would hurry up and release it, which I feel like now would be a great time
to really press the gas on that one.
Yeah, right when Patreon is at its weakest for getting people to switch. Be like, oh, hey, here's our service where we don't fuck you like that.
Yeah.
Finish him.
Yeah.
Just like the arcades.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for more on our end about like how we'll be dealing with this change going forward.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, we're going to keep our Patreon up and active. Like Zach mentioned, we don't hold it against anybody, especially those of you who are $1 pledges, patrons. If you're getting charged a whole lot more through Patreon starting in January, then we totally understand if you don't want to support that. Because, supporting us through Patreon, unfortunately, does support Patreon. And if you don't want to support shitty business practices, we understand, and we don't hold that against you.
No.
So
we'll just hold it against you that you only pledged $1.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll keep you all updated on anything that comes out. Supposedly, there's been rumors that Patreon might be rethinking this due to the massive amount of backlash, but we'll see.
Understandable.
Yeah.
You guys were just saying that you are dependently poor, so this just reinforces.
Yeah. 100%.
Dependent on Patreon keeping you poor.
Yep. Fucking Patreon. We've definitely lost money. Like, yeah, we might be getting 95% of all of our pledges, but the pledges we've lost more than make up the difference in what we were doing before. So
Very true.
Thanks for that, Patreon. We appreciate that.
Yay.
Fantastic.
As everyone drinks.
Hooray, venture capitalism.
Indeed.
I'm still supporting you guys.
Hooray.
Thanks, buddy. Let's
I'll
move
happily
on.
do it on any other platform you wish. Sorry.
Awesome.
All right.
So moving on to happier thoughts over in the Kickstarter realm. We have something that's just incredibly joyful here.
First up in Kickstarter is Stalingrad, Inferno on the Volga. Well-funded, 46,000 of its $12,000 goal, 423 backers, and a little bit more than 2 weeks left to go. You can pledge this one for about $65.
So it's about growing flowers?
Yeah, Stalingrad, just the recovery, reconstruction.
Oh, like Lisboa.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it is.
Yes.
That's exactly what happened in World War II.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Stalingrad was rebuilt. No, so this one is very much about the actual fighting that destroyed the city, and largely
wasn't an earthquake?
No.
Unless those bombs count as seismic events.
The ground was shaking.
It shook the earth. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Biggest battle of World War II.
yeah,
Mhm.
likely played a key role in stopping the German advance. Yeah.
Someone
war
gets the
game.
rifle. Someone gets the rifle. Someone gets the ammo.
Right.
Yep.
At least in that one
I remember that movie.
Yeah.
Enemy at the Gates.
I love that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Also happened in Call of Duty 2, I think.
Okay.
Way back in the day.
So this is a war game for 1, 2, or 3 players, which I'm curious who the third player ends up being.
You can play this game 2 versus 1.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
That actually explains the difference number of soldiers between Russia and Germany. there.
Right.
Yes.
So this is a block war game. Those of you not familiar with block war games, it's a whole bunch of little block pieces that represent troops and companies and formations moving around the map and fighting, which the map is an excellent place to start discussing this game because they took actual Luftwaffe recon photos and used those to make the board game map.
Colorized them.
Yeah, colorized them, artistically tuned them up a little bit for ease of playing because, as you can imagine, Luftwaffe recon photos weren't the highest quality. Something about aerial photography in the 40s.
Also, a lot of bombed out buildings kind of blur things out a little bit.
Yeah. There are several levels of game here in this. So they started with the solo game. So this is a war game that was originally meant to be solo, and then as they worked on the game, they added more and more in. So the solo version isn't a tacked on like random version. Plays 40 to 60 minutes for the solo. Then you can play
That's fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
not skip over that. That's for a war game. That's shockingly fast.
That's kind of why we wanted to talk about it, because this looks impressive for the time frame of how it plays.
Yeah. They say that the artificial intelligence is incredibly challenging. It is not an easy game, and because of how much what is like dependent on card draws and things, they claim that no two games will ever be the same. Which, I mean, probably relatively likely. At least from a technical perspective.
Right.
You can play a cooperative game where two live players play against the Soviet AI. And then you could play the Inferno, which lets one or two German players face a Soviet player. So the main gameplay you are playing as the Germans. No.
Oh.
Yep. So I guess you get to try and see if you can win where reality failed.
Fair enough. I was just hoping to be able to, plug a game where you can defeat Nazis. But if you're playing as the Nazis, I mean,
you could probably still,
the
Nazis still might lose.
Yeah. Maybe you can play as the Nazis and sabotage them.
Yes. I'm going to make sure I lose.
Yeah. I don't even want to win.
It'll be easy if you flip your goal that way.
Yes.
But yeah, so they are including 3 different maps. So they have a naked version that has no hexes or game graphics or anything. That's kind of just the map. They have a collector version that has an incredible level of detail.
And is colossal.
Yeah. And then they have the regular gameplay map that has all the hexes and game graphics and things that help you play the game.
Crutches.
Yeah.
But that collector's map, I couldn't find the actual dimensions on it, but it's probably 5 to 6 feet across. It's held out by a person, like fingertip to fingertip almost. So if you want a colossal, massive version of this game, that's also there. It's not cheap though. I want to say that one as an add-on is like 150 euros. Yeah, it's basically a giant canvas map for the real fans,
right,
of Stalingrad.
But yeah, so if you are at all interested in ridiculous block war games,
for a fantastic price and playtime, if it actually comes out to these actual playtimes, this game looks. Like
even if those playtimes are half reality, that's still fast for a war game.
Yeah, 2-hour solo war game.
Mm-hmm.
My dad used to have Civil War games like this style of games for like replaying Civil War battles that would take 4 hours a night over 6 months.
Because
very Campaign for North Africa.
I was just gonna say Campaign for North Africa right there.
Yeah, but for $65, I mean, this looks like to be a good deal, and it's. Estimated delivery is August 2018, so still about 10 months out for delivery.
Sounds about normal.
Yeah.
The collector's edition map, by the way, Jeff, I found it here. 252 by 90 centimeters.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
252
centimeters long. Yes.
That's like 8 feet at least.
Yeah.
9. Wait.
Use your soccer math.
No, I'm going off the fact that I am 200 centimeters tall at 6'7".
Yeah.
So, another quarter on top of that, so another 1.5 feet plus.
Yeah.
So a little over 8 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hence,
it's huge.
Yep. Hence it's being €150 add-on. But I mean, if you want something colossal like that, they'll help you out for money.
Lots of money.
Yeah. So that's Stalingrad, Inferno on the Volga. Got about a little over 2 weeks for that one. Check it out. Next up on Kickstarter is Postcard Dungeons. This one's about triple funded, 3,200 of its $1,000 goal, about 660 backers. and about 5 weeks left for you to back this one. You can pledge this one for a mere $4.
Four. One, two, three.
$4. Yep.
I can't afford not to back it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'd be crazy not to.
So I guess this comes from a designer that's done a bunch of other like simple, like basic dungeons. You have a postcard tiny adventure with a dungeon on it. You have a party that's like a wizard, a rogue, and a warrior. Downside is you do need some components with this that you supply yourself. 7 6-sided dice and some tokens to track things on these dungeons. In the Kickstarter, it's pretty basic alpha art, but they do have some mock-ups of what the final art will look like, and the actual final art will look pretty nice on these little postcards that you're getting. But you kind of just roll dice and assign monsters and traps and spells to different people, and you get treasure, and you kind of go to the next level of the dungeon. It seems like a pretty basic dungeon crawler.
Can you play it single player?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I might do that. That sounds...
Yeah, I mean, it's $4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says game can be played 2 to 6 players, is great for casual play, lasts 30 to 45 minutes. Solo play is also possible if you want to try and beat your best personal score.
Nice.
But you'll have different there's the sorcery traps and monsters, and you'll roll dice, and it will kind of go into different columns that are different adventures / dungeons, the Crypts of Terrors, the Keep of the Hinterlands and such.
Those are places.
Those are places. And then depending on where your treasure marker is, it depends on like what your difficulty of dice were, and that's kind of what treasure you'll get for further adventures. So it seems like a nice little compact, cheap dungeon crawler for, $4.
Indeed.
Still plenty of time on this one. There will be some more gameplay videos and such coming in the coming 5 weeks.
And
this
updated
one,
art and things.
yeah, that this one has left. But I mean, like, $4 and like $1 in postage or whatever, because it's not hard to ship a postcard.
No, it is not. It's like
It's
I want to say
$1.
I want to say it's $1 international shipping.
oh wow.
Yeah, they were shipping outside the U.S. Please add $1 to your pledge. So yeah, that's Postcard Dungeons.
Yeah, Australians are going to get fucked on that one.
Yeah, it's
Somehow, yep.
It's gonna be $67. I'm sorry, guys. I just couldn't. I didn't know. Next up in Kickstarters is Nemo's War, Nautilus upgrades and expansion plus reprint. Basically, Nemo's War 2nd edition. Another well-funded, 101,000 of its $30,000 goal, 3,200 backers. This one's got a week left to go, and you can pledge this one for $59.
Which I remember not terribly long ago. Like, I know the Secret Cabal guys were going nuts about Nemo's War. Like, a lot of people have been really high on this game and saying it was really great. So when I first heard there's that, like, Jeff mentioned that Nemo's War was one of the Kickstarters he found, I was like, wait, what? Like, that game's been out for a long time. Well, it's the reprint and includes the expansion. And so for $60, base game plus expansion, that's not terribly priced there.
No, and the expansion's like $5. It's basically upgrades that you can do to your ship. It's basically just a booster pack, but
oh yeah, as I was just saying, like, oh yeah, great deal plus expansion. I scrolled down, I was like, oh, it's like 12 cards.
Yeah.
So is this just playing through 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea? Is that
basically it is set in that universe?
Yeah, that's who Nemo is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You assume the role and motive of Captain Nemo and set sail in his amazing electric-powered submarine, the Nautilus. A single-player board game of underwater exploration and combat. You will search the oceans, combat vessels of all nations, brave the hazards of the seas, find your mysterious treasures, behold and chronicle amazing wonders, and travel around the world in your quest for knowledge and vengeance. So the first edition was a little bit simpler because it was new and it was a solo game, and then it did really well, and so now they're really enhancing it with mass production printing. And I don't know if the first edition had art by Ian O'Toole, but the second edition has art by Ian O'Toole for sure.
And it's good art.
Yeah,
It reminds me of Crusoe.
Yeah, I mean everything Ian O'Toole does, I'm a huge fan of. But yeah, I can see the where you feel it reminds you of Crusoe. Should have had my laptop hooked up to the TV so you could see as well.
Yeah,
Andrew.
I'm in Zach's position here of not seeing a damn thing. Oh, okay, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems pretty nice.
Cool.
But
Thank you very much for showing me that,
No,
Jeff.
no problem.
Now I am not in the same crappy position that your listeners are.
Right. Yeah.
But that draws them to the Kickstarter page.
Right, yeah, you
should
and-
go look
Guys,
at
you
all.
can just go look at Ian O'Toole's art. It's
Yes.
great.
But yeah, there's a bunch of different marks on the board for like sanity and adventure and things like that. And if they go too high, you'll go insane and lose, or everyone will hunt you down because you're blowing up too many frigates and stealing all their shit.
Is this the first game that has insanity as a mechanic that isn't based around
Cthulhu?
Cthulhu?
I think
mythos?
so.
No. I've definitely played other games. I can't think of
to be fair-
anything off the top of my head, but
To be fair, that new Planet of the Apes game that came out, you play as his like 4 psyches in the game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a co-op game where you're playing as the same character, but his 4 psyches.
so yeah, there are other games to answer your question
Okay.
that are not Cthulhu that do use insanity as a mechanic.
Okay.
And who's to say Cthulhu doesn't show up in this?
Yeah, I mean, really, he's
true.
in every game, so why not?
'Cause
Is there a
it's-
Cthulhu expansion? Is that what the expansion is? Adding Cthulhu?
The
If
obligatory.
you rearrange the letters in Nautilus, it spells Cthulhu.
That sounds believable.
I don't know enough about words to dispute you, so
yeah,
I'm
we
just
don't
gonna agree.
have an English major. I mean, we've got an accountant, so we can
Right.
at least fact check numbers. But
Yeah.
words, come on.
No.
This
Nope.
is why you guys have to do a word game episode just to be able to check on that one.
Yeah. In the word game episode. That's what Nautilus? Oh,
You
no.
put out all the cards, NAU.
I can't figure out a way to make Nautilus spell Cthulhu, guys.
How do you spell Cthulhu?
What you do is you play Wordsy, and you just have an L up there, and they're like, done.
Okay. I don't think you know how to play Wordsy, Zach.
I
No, I
don't think
don't.
he does either. But yeah, so check it out. Coming from Victory Point Games, Nemo's War. You got about a week to go jump in on that if you want to get the second edition of Nemo's War.
And last up on Kickstarters is Tipsy Pups, a drinking game for puppy lovers. Funded at $1,600 of its $1,000 goals, about 78 backers. This one has a little over 3 weeks left to back, and you can pledge this one for $15 whole.
That is almost 4 times as much as that postcard game. It's not worth it. Nope, I'm out.
That's out. But it has
Not
like,
investing. What's the board game? The boardroom TV show. Investor.
Shark
Tank.
Shark
Yeah.
Tank,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not investing.
You're out.
Yeah.
I think is the word that my grandparents watch that show all the
I
time.
don't actually watch that show. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
ignore me. Sorry.
But this game comes with 96 cards.
That's a lot more than a postcard.
I'm always one to look at drinking games because I always want a good drinking game. And this one came to mind. It's cheap. You get 96 cards. It's 2 to 10 players, about 45 minutes of playtime, and just basic, simple, stupid cards.
Do you actually need a game in your drinking game?
I mean, my drinking game is usually drink the beer. What I win, another beer.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
Yes, but sometimes I get together with friends, and sometimes they want to play drinking games. Sometimes they want to play stupid drinking games.
Yeah.
And I just want a deck of cards to tell me to do stupid things. I don't want to have to flip a cup or.
Cheers, Governor is one of my favorite drinking games. But there are some people that I'm like, I don't want to play this with you because I'm gonna die from alcohol poisoning.
We've played Cheers, Governor at some game nights before. It's gone well.
As reasonably well as a drinking game or game night can go. But
Indeed.
anyway, tell us about Tipsy Pups.
So in this game, there's 96 cards. All of the cards are have puppy art on them. They're all like domino size, so they are smaller size cards.
I'm sorry. Did you say puppy art?
Yes, puppy.
I'm back
puppies.
in.
You're back in. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a drinking game for puppy lovers. So all of them have little cutesy puppy art on them of different categories. Tattoos. Anyone with a tattoo drinks. Now or later. Would
Any
you rather?
puppies with tattoos?
I
What?
mean, that's literally what's happening right on that card.
Just please,
tattoo gun dripping ink on a puppy.
Please do not tattoo your puppies. The SPCA might have something to say about that.
Sir, Wonder Woman will break down your doors.
Yeah.
So there, it's a mix of cards.
Yeah. So
right?
it's there's the icebreakers, like, have you ever, this one time, tell a story. Everyone drinks at the end. Pick 2 people. Whoever does less crunches in 10 seconds drinks. Well, nothing like a physical challenge.
Yeah, so that falls under the physical challenge, which is the second of the 3 categories.
Yes. Classic games. 1 round of beer pong. I don't know what a round of beer pong is besides a whole thing. I assume that one would be kind of long, but maybe it's just kind of like one shot. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I feel like if you're challenging someone to 1 round of beer pong, you could even play with just 1 rack and you each shoot. And so instead of having a partner, you just each shoot 2 balls. And whoever, if you get 2 cups, then shoot until somebody misses, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I could see how you could play 1 round of beer pong.
And that we're like, heaven, everyone raises their hand. Last one to raise drinks. And then tons more. And then the game ends when there's no more cards left. No winners or losers, only progressively tipsier friends.
Yeah. So, I mean, 96 cards, and you play until the cards are gone. Like, I don't think you're going to be tipsy. Like this is like get smashed the puppy game.
Wait, you're smashing puppies? Dear God.
Dear God. But this is definitely up my alley of just simple, basic, stupid drinking game. Just
something to get you drunk, not actually to play a game.
Yeah.
There's no game here.
I mean, a lot of people just sit around and play beer pong and stuff like that. I'd rather have this stupid deck of cards because I'm just tired of playing beer pong.
Fair enough.
And then this way, like, rather than playing like waterfall or asshole or, circle of death or whatever you call it, depending on what part of the fucking country you're from, or world for that matter, rather than having to make up rules or remember like, oh wait, what do you do when a 7 gets drawn again? Oh yeah, 7's this. Wait, no, when I play in my part of the world, 7s do this. No, now you have cards and they just tell you exactly what they do.
Fair enough. I've never liked drinking games because I drink whiskey, not beer.
Fair.
I'm disadvantaged.
Sips instead of drinks.
But yeah, I mean, and other stuff, like drink twice if you've ever worn braces, like stuff like that.
I like the rock paper one. Play rock paper scissors in a circle, losers drink. So the way I imagine this is just like if you have 10 people in a circle, everybody does rock paper scissors shoot, and then you compare to the left, and like if you lose to your left, you drink. So like it's just a big circle.
Oh, that would be a
around.
good way of doing it. I would thought it would be like you and me go, and then you and Jeff go, and then Jeff and I go.
No.
Okay.
No, like if it was the 3 of us playing, like we'd all do rock paper scissors shoot, and then just pick a direction so we're all consistent and compare. And if you win that direction, congrats, you don't drink. If you lose that direction, fuck you, you drink.
That'd be a great way of doing it.
Yeah. It's supposed to be delivered in January, so only like a month out.
Yeah, which
it's just
that
cards.
I might not believe.
Yeah.
But one thing that I do like is looking over the handful of cards that they have like examples of. None of them are anything that's like particularly demeaning or like trashy or like, tell everybody how many people you've had sex with so that they can all mock you because hooray, sex shaming.
Go hump the wall for 15 seconds.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. Like it's all, like there's icebreakers like, have you ever, okay. Like
which
sometimes
can go
that
into
can get that way.
But you're not forced to be assholes. If you're hanging out with assholes, they'll be assholes, but you're not forced to be assholes about the game.
Ding, ding, ding. This one time, share an embarrassing story. Like, you can share a story about like the time I walked into a fucking pole face first because I was trying to be cool.
That's how I'm cool, walking into things.
We got like don't blink, like have a staring contest. Like that's harmless fun that I think could be hilarious with the right group. Like watching Zach and Jeff have a staring contest. Like I'm not having a staring contest with you, Andrew. I'm not tipsy enough. But yeah,
Zach,
nice
you and me
it.
right now, staring contest.
All right, go.
It's not going to end. Continue
Jeff
talking.
Jeff blinked twice, 3 times. But yeah, so if you...
No one would know if Zach had blinked or not, though. There's no one there to check him.
Well,
I like to imagine that
honestly-
Zach's eyes are just closed the entire time.
Yeah,
He's been
I
asleep
mean,
for most of
I
this.
taped my eyes open, so
this was a
It
tactical
was
error
slowly
on your
drying
part,
out.
Jeff, for starting this game when you knew he couldn't possibly lose.
Tactical error.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you want a deck of 96 cards to tell you how to drink your drink, you can do that for $15.
Sounds like a steal to me.
Yep. And
That's it for Kickstarters.
that's it. Wraps it up.
Wrap it
All
up.
done. Boom.
Wrap it up.
Perfect. Well, I think it's time to move on to some emails.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
We have a couple.
There are a couple.
Well, we have
emails.
a whole lot because we
Yes.
do still have our contest going on, and we're getting emails for those, but we're still not reading them just yet.
Wait, what do I win in the contest?
You can win a copy of Lisboa.
Oh, that
Right
copy
there.
of Lisboa.
That copy right there.
Oh,
that
it's
you're
very
looking at.
nice. It's in shrink wrap.
It's
It looks
fantastic.
brilliant.
Yep.
It is a large box.
It is
It
a
is a
huge
very
box.
large box.
It matches all the other boxes from Eagle Griffin games very well.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Because you own all
of the
of them.
Vital Lacerda.
Of the
Eagle
Vital
Griffin
Lacerda
games.
ones, yes.
Anyway, on to the emails, because like I said, we have a couple of them.
Yeah. First up in emails is titled Boo Fucking Who. My impression of Adrian. Oh no, my team has been so good for so fucking long that a bad season is the end of the fucking world. Fuck you.
I like how you kept my voice going even when they transitioned off of doing my voice.
Did you look at Adrian when he said "fuck you"?
I did.
did,
I
he
did.
did.
I did.
Okay, good.
Also, Zach, you were the Scythians?
Scythians.
Scythians.
Yeah, probably.
Which, as Adrian guessed, is Tomirius.
Yes.
And I think they're totally overpowered, especially with city-states always being on planes. Plus, I couldn't really attack you with your bonuses, so fuck you. There's definitely a question mark at the end of that. Jeff, you're cool.
Damn it, it actually says that. Jeff's not even doing editorials.
Nope. And finally, to the guy that wants Cyclades statues white to look like Greek statues, I have some bad news. Greek buildings and statues weren't white. It's been a long time. Like literally thousands of years. I've painted stuff that hasn't lasted even a decade, and this is like 250 times longer than that. So yeah, all the Greek stuff was painted, and not simply clean painting. It was bright, garish, clashing. Frankly, if I saw this statue, which we'll link a picture of this nightmare, for a bucket of garage for a bucket of garage sale, the only reason I'd buy it is to give it to someone as a joke. And this art from the side of a building, another nightmare, looks more like it's from the golden age of comic books than anything else.
You're not wrong.
I love the Greeks, but their actual aesthetics were hideous to our modern eyes. Andrew.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I almost wanted to be like, all right, everybody, you can guess, what random historian friend who would know all about Greek statues and who might
was
be
correcting, pronunciation as we went through the email.
and who, might also be a Detroit Lions fan and know something about having a team that's just terrible for years and years on end.
The only perfect season in
the only
it's ugly.
Perfectly imperfect.
Perfectly imperfect season. And I was saying this on just to go back a little bit to football. Just one small digression. I was saying this, I think, on Saturday. I really hope that the Browns win a game. Like I've been there, and I don't wish that on any team.
Are the Browns undefeated right now?
They're unwinning.
Yeah, they're winless.
Undefeated.
The Browns are
3 games left in the season. And they haven't won a game yet.
They damn near beat the Packers.
They damn near.
Oh my God! I was.
yeah.
Oh, and it was like a high scoring game.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
21-27. Browns
overtime.
0-13 right now.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. But
The Dolphins, the last undefeated team.
no.
No.
The last team to go an entire season
only
undefeated. Yes.
Okay.
the only
like
team-
72.
Yeah,
72
the,
Dolphins.
Long time
the
ago.
Patriots
Dolphins.
almost did it and then got lost
Lost
to
the
the
Super
Giants
Bowl.
in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yes. But anyway, all right, enough football. There was enough football
as
early
Adrian,
in the game.
As Adrian cackles.
One
in
of my
excitement.
favorite moments as a not Patriots fan was the Patriots 19-1 season.
Oh God.
I thought it was 21-1.
No.
No, 19-1. All right.
No. There's only 16 regular season games, and then depending on your route through the playoffs, which if you go 16-0 in the regular season,
20-0.
you're only playing
20-0 is undefeated all the way to the Super Bowl.
yes,
Okay.
in the modern era.
In the modern. Next up on emails, this one comes from Matt. Board game and alcohol pairings. Hey, guys.
Something everyone here loves.
Indeed.
Yes.
Hope you're going well. Jeff, how's your knee? My knee is much better. I've been able to work and lift. I've been on the forklift a lot lately, just so I didn't have to lift shit around the yard for a while. But it's all back up, and I'm going to go snowboarding this weekend, hopefully.
And fix that.
And just
knee
really
right back
ruin
down.
it again. Zach, how's your face, I guess?
It's okay.
Okay, good.
Mine, it's,
All right.
it's the eyes are currently being dried out from that tape. So otherwise,
Adrian, how are you?
I'm well. A couple beers deep. Broncos won yesterday. Yeah, feeling pretty good.
Feeling
Surrounded
good?
by friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Did he ask about me? Did
2
he
out
ask
of
about
3.
me?
No, he didn't know you were going to be here. How are you?
Sure.
But I'm going to ask. How are
Oh.
you?
I'm doing quite well. I'm surrounded by friends.
There you go.
So, you know.
Yeah. And I have at least 2 red wines in you.
Yeah, that helps.
I've been wondering about Adrian's hat collection and if you own any top hats or hats that make you look taller.
I don't own any top hats. No.
You have
I
that.
do.
You have that straw hat that's during summertime.
Panama.
Yeah. My Panama hat. And it's made of palm,
Palm.
not straw.
Okay.
That could be argued that it makes me seem taller because it sits up a little bit off the top of my head.
Mhm.
The other one, no, it very much fits.
It's kind of the
Right along my
Irishy
head.
sort of. What's the name of that hat?
Ascot hat.
Ascot hat.
Mm.
Mm. That's the one.
Those
you
are the
kinda-
only 2 that I currently own. Like as far as like nice hats, like I own a bunch of ball caps and beanies and bullshit like that. But
Yeah.
but ball caps don't make me look taller either.
You really need to bulk up your hat collection for how much you wear hats.
I do.
Yeah.
The hats, unfortunately, good hats are fucking expensive.
Yeah, they are.
And I also have to be very careful. Like, I'm not going to be some asshole neckbeard wearing a trilby, like, with a t-shirt and shorts. Like,
Suit.
I actually try and match what I wear with what hat I have, which limits my selection of hats drastically.
That'll happen. After listening to your review of Eldritch Horror, my wife and I finally got to play it for the first time. It was bullshit.
sounds about right.
Our first monster was a star spawn, and I bravely go off to kill it and shut the gate. The star spawn gets all the health back, and I'm dead on turn 2. It was a really short game after that. Somehow, we can't wait to play it again.
Because that's Eldritch Horror.
Yeah. Because just wait until you have a game that lasts like for fucking 7 hours,
Yeah.
and then you lose, and then you'll never want to play that fucking game ever again.
Or you just want to play it more.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
So you all seem rather clued in on beers. So how do you decide what to drink when you play board games?
How drunk do I want to get?
We'll go ahead and read through all the questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you decide depending on the group, the game, or your surroundings? I know my friend and I tend to sit on a rum or scotch in heavier games,
I approve.
but we'll drink a wine or beer in co-op games or with newer players. It definitely depends on the weight of the game, unless it depends on the environment and weight.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just get fucking trashed in some heavy game that Adrian's making us play because then it's just like I don't care anymore.
Right.
Or like when we have a big Saturday get together playing Twilight Imperium and everybody's drinking beer at 10 o'clock in the morning and just getting progressively drunker as the galaxy devolves into war and chaos.
It's my favorite days.
I don't typically decide like super based on game. Like I might like pick a slightly lower alcohol beer if I'm playing a longer game. Definitely the group. Like I don't drink nearly as much if I'm up playing games with heavy cardboard because that group doesn't really drink very much when they play board games. Whereas like our group, we mostly play at breweries. So
And it depends on the game we're trying to play at the brewery. Like we're not going to drag out something like complicated, heavy, a little bit more difficult to learn when we're 2 hours into game night and everyone's drinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're learning the game, don't bring out the liquor.
Yeah.
But also that's my main complaint with the board game night is that they're always at breweries, which I know you guys love, but they so rarely have whiskey.
yeah,
Andrew doesn't drink beer.
I don't. You can
It's
all
not because
write
of
in
beer.
emails, but
personal failings aside.
It's
Yeah.
because of carbonation.
it is. So I also don't drink pop or soda or whatever you want to call it. Coke.
Have you?
Like I said, just drink flat beer.
Right.
Just
Okay, also known as cask. Have you had cask?
I haven't had cask.
Cask style?
No.
I-
I have had nitro.
Okay.
And basically I've just decided that, this late into my life, I could acquire the taste or I could just keep drinking whiskey.
It's fair.
just keep being stubborn.
You have the whiskey palate that I don't have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm jealous of that. But I would recommend attempting cask sometime.
You know what? I will, if you want to, guide me through that.
I would have to take you somewhere because it's not a thing that I can just bring.
Okay.
There's no cask in a can. It's
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That confuses me.
It's cask because it's old timey
do they
English.
have any at Epic where you work?
Absolutely not.
No,
Okay.
But the next time we're over here playing games, maybe we'll jump. Oop, almost knocked my laptop over. We'll jump
Don't
over.
do that.
I won't. We can jump over to Boar's Head or Hogshead.
Hogshead.
And
Okay.
Hogshead typically has 3 to 4 casks of traditional English style ales on.
They're usually
Draft.
not chilled and lightly to not carbonated.
Cool. Okay. I will definitely try it.
Okay.
There's,
Cask is my favorite style of beer,
good to know.
and it's hard to find.
All right.
Continuing with the email, though.
Yes.
Indeed.
Before we get too far afield.
Yeah. Have you ever drank any imported beers? I'd probably a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
tons.
just constant, nonstop, pretty much from everywhere.
I used to drink more, like when I first really got into craft beer. I drank more because I was under this like idea that American beer was shit because I thought of
You
American
only had
beer as like American.
Budweiser and stuff
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was like Bud and Coors and shit like that, And so then I was drinking imported beers of such fine quality as like Foster's and Newcastle and
Heineken.
Stella Artois, Guinness, which Guinness is actually, of those, Guinness is probably one of the better ones. Newcastle's not a bad.
Guinness is always way too expensive wherever it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The old, I think I originally heard it as being Australian joke about American beer. How's American beer like having sex in a canoe?
Wow.
It's fucking close to water.
I have heard that, and it's great every time.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So I have also, though, however, had different imported beers occasionally that are actually good imported beers. And then whenever I travel internationally, like nowadays, I try to drink whatever's local. So like if I'm here in Colorado, I try to drink local Colorado beers. If I go to North Carolina, I drink North Carolina beers. When I was in Iceland, I tried to drink only Icelandic beers.
How were Icelandic beers?
So I guess,
How were Icelandic beers?
They were fantastic. They actually have a pretty solid brewing scene going on in Iceland these days. Reykjavik, we went to like a full on like American style, like what I would think of as like a brewery here in town. Like they had cool music, really great beer, variety of styles, and yeah, it was awesome. I enjoyed it a lot. So
I should travel.
now I guess at that point they're not imported though because I'm drinking them in the country of origin.
Right.
This is true.
You have imported yourself.
So I don't know.
All of my imported beers have come from Ant's beer cellar that he was clearing out mostly. Swiss beers and Swedish beers and
I drink imported scotches.
yeah.
Is that
Close enough. I mean, if you don't drink beer, you got to go for the next
Yeah.
best thing. Most of my wine's imported. I drink a lot of Argentinian, South American wines and stuff. I like good Malbec.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
I'm not a wine drinker, so this is all fascinating to me. Matt continues. Keep up your bullshit. Blah, blah, blah. Suck a dick, Matt. P.S. If you ever come to Australia, I will happily pitch a tent and roll out a swag for you. We can build a campfire, buy the billabong and eat dampier, ride emus, and I expect your best Australian accent on this one, mate. Wrestle.
Yeah, God. you almost didn't do it.
I gotta get my best crocodile hunter. That's right. I want to go southern. It's hard because I want to wrestle crocodiles, but that's southern, not Australian, not southern enough.
Australian for beer.
I don't have an Australian accent.
So you could start by the fact that every Australian I've ever met, they don't say Australia.
Australia.
They all say Australia.
Australia.
I want to say wrestling. I want to say wrestling so hard.
Jeff, just say fuck it. Just go. Just as long as just do it.
Just go.
Wrestle crocodiles. Went southern.
Oh shit. Good effort.
Well, is it any comfort that Australia means southern?
Now I know this.
Yeah. That's,
font of fucking knowledge over here.
Austria is also the southern part of the German-speaking people, so Austria and Australia both mean southern.
Oh, well then.
Yeah. Now you know. And
Now I
knowing is
know.
half the battle.
That's true. The other half, lasers of red and blue color. PPS, I live in suburbia in a house with beds. You can totally come here instead and drink my beer. Interesting fact, there are more camels in Australia than Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
I knew that.
Yep.
I did not. That was
Well-
a fun fact for me.
Well, there you go.
Also, I'm impressed that he wanted to offer riding emus, given last I heard, the Australians had lost their war against the emus.
Have you railed against the ashes on recording?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that was at the start of the episode.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's
that
been
was
a while, Jeff. But
All right.
yes.
It's been at least an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So
So maybe Matt will have some opinions about
Right,
the,
yes,
the
please.
ashes. Yeah.
He can rub it in my face that England are getting their butts handed to them.
That's it for emails.
That is indeed it for emails. If
At
you want
my-
to email us,
Emails at milehighgameguys.com. If you would like to hear your emails replied on air and not via actual reply via emails.
I recommend emailing them. It is one of my favorite things to do.
and we certainly appreciate it.
Indeed.
It gives Jeff something to do, so he feels important.
Ouch. Ow.
No. Along with news and Kickstarter and all of the other things.
And
you
writing
do.
every
Yeah.
cut that we have to make.
Yeah. Diligent note taking.
Diligent. I mean, week to week is...
Hit or miss, yes.
We didn't have any follow up on BGG to the Watch the Skies episode, so nothing to go over there.
I believe the runner of said thing, Bob, will be drafting a
Yeah.
post-mortem at some point for us to get the runner of the whole shebang's viewpoint on what happened, who did what, cool things, because that was kind of...
All over the place.
Yeah, because there was a lot of moving pieces, and only certain people got to see what pieces were actually moving.
Very true.
But if you would like to follow up with us after any episodes that we do, you can jump over to our Board Game Geek Guild number 2731, where we have threads up for the episodes, and you can chime in there with your thoughts on our reviews or discussions or beer we're drinking, whatever you want to do. Go nuts. We welcome
Have at it.
interaction. You can also follow all of us on Twitter. I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
And I'm Jeff_MHGG,
Andrew, you don't have a Twitter, do you?
I don't. No.
Okay.
railing against the Twitter.
Yeah. I'm a Luddite.
We also have Facebook and Instagram /MileHighGameGuys. You can find us there. And don't forget, we do still have our contest going for Lisboa for another few weeks here. And by few, I mean about a week.
Yeah, not much time left.
So there are still 3 ways to enter that. You can send us an email to the aforementioned
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
and tell us your board gaming disaster story, something that went terribly wrong, or a player who lost their shit, or whatever you want to have if your disaster story be. Send that to us via email. You can jump over to that Board Game Geek Guild. Once again, that was 2731, where there is one of those awesome threads that Zach puts up specifically for the giveaway. And on that one, we're looking to hear a little bit more about your board game group and who you play with, where you play, all of that stuff. And then finally, you can tweet us with the now longer. I forgot to mention how great it is that Twitter has now went to 280 characters.
Dear God.
Double the characters for
Ruins
you.
the entire point of Twitter.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Non-Twitter user.
Yeah, right. But over there on Twitter, you can tweet us using the hashtag MHGGThanks and tell us a discussion topic that you would like to hear on the show. We've gotten a couple good ones, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Each one of those is good for a different entry. So you can get 3 entries into the drawing, triple your chances to win, because I think that's how math works. I'm not positive.
It's like 2.9, depending on how many entries you get. It's not quite tripling. It'll never be quite tripling unless only one person enters.
Yes. Close enough for my drunken math.
It's tripling.
Yeah.
As Andrews want to say, it's more counting than math.
Yes.
But thanks everybody for tuning into this episode. Be sure to tune in on Friday, where we will be reviewing the new Sid Meier's Civilization game, A New Dawn. Andrew will be joining us on that one.
Woohoo! Hooray!
And yeah, it should be a good time. So check that out on Friday. And then we'll be back next week with the announcement of the winner of that Lisboa giveaway. So
dear God,
get your entries in by Sunday at midnight.
Do it.
Sunday the
16th.
16th.
Yep, do it.
Sweet.
Do it now.
Well, there you, have
can
your
do
Austrian
you can do an
accent.
Austrian, yeah.
Australia, Austria. They're both southern.
Put another shrimp on the Barbie.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
On that note,
On that note, as always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm... Oh, hi, Jeff.
Thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks.
And we'll see y'all later. Bye.
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 All right. So there's me talking. One of you guys try talking.
I am attempting to talk.
All right, Kaiser,
Yes, hello. How are
Right.
you doing today?
Zach.
I am doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Hey, we got it.
All right, I gotta go now.
All right, guys. Wrap it up.